Welcome back, everybody. We're here to pull cards for December the 6th. And as we pull these cards, this is going to be beneficial for you if you know your sun sign. Even more beneficial for you if you know your sun, your moon, and your rising signs. And you can really get a lot of tea if you know your sun, moon, rising, and all your other planetary placements. Jupiter tells you where you're going to be expanding. Venus tells you about love and money, etc., etc., etc. Here we go. Thanks for remembering to enter the contest by commenting down below. What do we have? Aries, first thing out, what you have is the Seven of Cups. This just tells me that you are looking today at ways that you could improve your life or improve your way of living. So you may be looking at behavior modifications that make things better. You may be looking at different jobs. You may be looking at side hustles. You may be looking at all kinds of different things, but really just evaluating the options, figuring out which one is going to be the best one for you to move forward with next. All right. Taurus, you guys have the Hierophant showing up in reverse. This is telling me there is some kind of contract or commitment that you have been considering, and today you're realizing, woo hoo hoo, I don't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole. Get me out of here. Okay, so contract or commitment, if you were considering getting into this, you're realizing it's not all it's cracked up to be. Don't want it, running for the hills. If you're already in this, you're looking at how do I get out of this thing now? Okay. Next up, we're looking at Gemini. Geminis, you guys have the Eight of Wands showing up in reverse. This just means that there is a slowdown in communication or a slowdown in orders being placed if we're talking about work. But it could be a slowdown of communication with a particular person or a group of persons, or it could be a slowdown at work, one thing or the other. With this card, it generally is short term, so you want to use this time to catch up on things that have been kind of piling up on you, you haven't had a chance to work with. You want to go ahead and get those things all straight right now. All right, next up, let's look at Cancer. Cancers, you guys have the Nine of Swords showing up here. This is just telling me that you're feeling pretty stressed out today. And usually when you've got something like the Nine of Swords showing up here, this is telling me that whatever you're stressing out over, you probably don't really have that much control over it. Otherwise, why would you stress? You would just do what you need to do, right? So Cancer's important thing to do here when you have this kind of card show up, if you notice this energy floating in for you, you want to ask yourself, have I done everything that I could do to make this situation the best that it can possibly be? If that answer is yes, then you want to find a way to make peace with letting the cookie crumble however it needs to crumble. If you have not, then obviously you want to take some action to go ahead and do whatever you can to have this outcome that you're actually looking for. Usually when this card comes up, somebody's already done everything that they need to do or everything that they can do. So now it is just time to find a way to make peace with the situation. Don't let it trigger you anymore. All right, next up, Leo. Leos, you guys have the Six of Swords showing up in reverse. This is some type of lifestyle change that you are making. And when we make a lifestyle change, this is something that we're doing to either improve the life that we're living right now or to hopefully expand the length of the life that we have in the bodies that we're in right now. So some type of lifestyle change that you're making here today, Leos. All right, next up we're looking at Virgo. So Virgos, you guys have the Knight of Swords showing up. This tells me that you are taking some swift action today. This is probably going to be swift communication, and usually this is about standing up for or defending something that you believe in. So defending something that you believe in with swift communication today. All right, next up let's look at Libra. Libras, you guys have the Page of Cups. Isn't this interesting? Yesterday you got the same card, but it was reversed. So you've got the Page of Cups. Today you're going to be letting somebody in your sphere of influence know exactly how much you think about them or care about them. So passing along some kind of message about the level of care that you have for somebody. Next up we have Scorpio. Scorpio's Two of Cups showing up in reverse. This is just telling me that you have a situation, an activity, a person that you used to enjoy the company of or you used to enjoy participating with, and now what you're realizing is, I don't enjoy this like I used to anymore. I could kind of take it or leave it now. In fact, maybe I'd rather leave it. All right? So that's what we've got coming up for those of us who have Scorpio placements. Next up, let's look at Sagittarius. Sagittarius, you have the devil showing up. I do feel like this is talking about somebody that you're interacting with today who has some type of addiction issue actively going. For others of you, I am also picking up a strong sense that you're dealing with somebody who has some kind of mental illness today. So either an addiction issue or a mental illness, possibly even both. Many times those two are tied together. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I think that's all I want to say about that. I think you being aware is going to help you to deal with that situation in a little bit more healthy way. All right, let's look at Capricorn. Capricorns, you guys have the Empress showing up in reverse. This tells me that you are right smack dab in the middle of manifesting something that you don't want. Now, how does that happen with the Empress? With the Empress, because she's really the more receptive manifester, what we're talking about here is that you're focusing on the things that you're afraid of or the things that you don't want rather than focusing on those things that you actually do want. You're letting your fears take over your mind. So we don't want to do that, do we? No, because that brings in what we fear or what we don't want, what we dislike. So, if you feel this energy coming in, if you notice yourself running in that fear mode, then try to find something else to think about. If you can't turn this fear mode off on whatever subject it's on, then try to find something else to think about at least, just so you're not feeding more energy into that. Okay, so that was for Capricorn. Next up, we're looking at Aquarius. Aquarius, you guys have the Ace of Wands showing up here. This just tells me that you have some kind of new inspiring idea that's hitting you today. Now, when it is the Ace, it is the very beginning of something, so it is still just at idea level. I don't see any action actually taking place, but just a new inspiring idea. Okay, next up, let's look at Pisces. Pisces, we do have the Four of Cups showing up for you. This just tells me that it's going to be really tempting for you to go into pity party mode today. Don't do it. Pity party mode always seems justified, doesn't it? It always seems like, like a luxury that we deserve. The only problem with pity party mode is it accomplishes absolutely nothing, and it ends up making us feel worse than we did before we started that pity party mode. So try to head this off at the past. Try to focus on the silver linings. Try to focus on the opportunities that are around you in spite of the disappointments. Try to focus on anything but pity party energy, because we don't want that, because that just draws in more of that. We want to focus on something that we want more of. Okay, so that's what I've got for everybody today. Thank you very much for stopping by. I do appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate all the thumbs ups, all the shares, all the likes. I appreciate you guys who are ordering private readings and private Reiki sessions from me. It is because of all you guys' support for me at every single level that I am able to do what I love to do for my living. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Everybody have a fantastic day. Peace out.